Hey, this is Emily at Inflatable Kayaks, and in this video we're going to take a look at the old solo versus tandem kayak debate. Which is better? Of course, neither is better, they're just different, and there's some pros and cons for each, so we're going to go through them now. So I'm going to start off with the whole convertible concept. What this means is that a tandem kayak can have the back seat and the front seat for paddling tandem, and then it can also have a central seating position here so you can go out solo. And all of our tandem kayaks are actually convertible kayaks. This is really appealing to people. I think they're like, yes, I can have the best of both. I can have a kayak to go out and by myself, and then when people want to come, I'll be able to take them. In practice though, the key thing to remember about this is that some of our tandem kayaks are very large, which is awesome in the sense that it doesn't really matter how big you are or how much gear you want to take. Dogs, kids, the whole works fits in them. But for one person to get the kayak down to the water and back can be a challenge. It's not a challenge to paddle them. I need to be clear about that. They paddle quite well as solos. It's more the getting to and from. And you can kind of see what I mean when we look at, say, our Advanced Frame Sport and our Advanced Frame. These are our solo kayaks. And then you compare up here to the convertible, which is so much bigger. That's when you get a feel for it. And the weight too, 11.75 for the Sport, 23.5 for the Convertible Elite. It's quite a lot of weight and quite a lot of length, 4.7 meters long for one person. So I always say, let's think about this. Are we going to be paddling solo a lot? If you're going to be paddling solo a lot, I would lean towards two solos, and that's one of the biggest decision factors in my opinion. If you're going to be doing a lot of solo, don't get a tandem. Having said that, we have a cart that we sell, so if you still really want a tandem for all the other reasons, you can always strap this cart on the back of the kayak, pick up the front, wheel away. And we also sell a kayak called the Straight Edge 2 Pro, which is a lot lighter. It's shorter and lighter, so that might be one you look at if you're going to be going solo a lot. The other thing to consider is the social side of it. So when you've got two of you paddling, you can see these ladies are having fun, right? You can chat, because when you're in two solo kayaks, you need to be somewhat apart from each other so you don't clang paddles, right, and run into each other. There is a mandatory sort of minimum distance. When you're together in the kayak, you don't have that, and it's good fun. Now, the flip side of this is the kind of control and the working together issue. Sometimes people come out of the kayak ready for a divorce. This is an interesting one. It can be hard to pick. Most people tend to know themselves well enough to know whether they're going to be able to let someone else dictate the pace, for example, of the paddling and let someone else have control or not. So that's a personal decision. And then size and weight. So I get this a lot. We get a lot of people who are traveling in caravans or four-wheel drives and they need to keep their weight down. I've compared here the Advanced Frame Sport Elite kayak with the Advanced Frame Convertible Elite kayak. I think that's a fair comparison. So two Sport Elites, 26.6 kilograms, one Convertible Elite, 23.5. Now, obviously this varies hugely depending on the kayaks you compare, but you can see two solos is a little heavier. So let's talk about price. This is my final factor to consider. What are two solos worth versus one tandem? Well, at the time of filming, two Sport Elites are $2,874 and one Convertible Elite is $2,087. So that's a 37% increase in price. It's not nothing, right? It's not double, but it's also not nothing. And again, this varies hugely depending on which kayak you're looking at, obviously. But one thing I will say is these kayaks that we sell, they last a really long time. So if you think about the value proposition, even though you might be spending more to get two solos for 10, 20 years, and you're going to get a lot of use out of them if they meet your need. If you buy a Convertible Elite, it might be cheaper, but if it's sort of not something you end up using so much because you wish you'd got two solos, then it's not as good value. So again, that's a personal decision, up to you. Okay, hopefully you understand the key elements to consider when deciding between solo and tandem. If you think you know which way to go, check out the how to choose a tandem kayak video or the how to choose a solo kayak video. If you're still not sure though, please get in touch. This is Emily at Inflatable Kayaks.